President Client Services for Strategic Networks Group, and we'll be walking through the portal over the next 30 minutes or less. And we have with us representatives from our project with Southern Tier Network. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
This is Jill. I'm Program Coordinator for Shelburne County. And I'm Carrie Dweck with the Student County IDA.
Great. Thanks, Jill and Carrie. So what I'm showing on the screen right now is the login and actually registration page for accessing the Digital Economy portal for businesses. Just by way of introduction, we've designed this portal to facilitate access to information and tools that are intended to help businesses do more online by adopting new applications, really increasing the effectiveness of their use of online tools to assist them in their business growth, to be more competitive, be more productive. So this is the login page to the portal to access the information. We'll show you some of those the features once we log in. Before I do so, I'll just point out that this page is customized. In this case, for Southern Tier Network, we have the branding at the top of the page. We've customized some of the wording here and put some single point of contact information, as well as some of the partner logos on the right-hand side at the bottom here. It is a typical login page. We will be logging in from what we refer to as a client level or delivery agent type of access. So this, what we'll be looking at, is access for those who are providing support to businesses. Businesses do have the option of...
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
This is Jill. Is this the client level access or the delivery agent access? This one?
In fact, it's the same login page for anyone who has access, including businesses.
Okay.
Everyone will log in using their own ID and or username and password, and based on your username and password, you'll have access to different information. So businesses will have a different view of some of the information of a different menu than you will have if you log in as a client or as a delivery agent. And I'll explain that once we log in. It's a good question, and I will just show you businesses can self-register. I'm just going to quickly show you that. And it's just, there we go. All right. Again, typical registration. Who are you? You can set your own username. You can put your email address in, password, name, contact information. And we ask businesses to select their industry. So there's a list of major industries that they can select from. Contact information. This is all so that businesses, when they do register, you as delivery agents and as a client have access to their contact information, and we can then manage some of the activities that a business may undertake within the portal. As well, they'll select a county. In this case, we have your 3 counties listed here. So based on which county they select, that business will be associated with one of the 3 delivery agents for each of these counties. As well, they'll be visible at the client level across all 3 counties, and I'll show you that when we log in. So that's a simple process of registration. I'll just return to the login, and now we will log in. And I will not disclose your password on the presentation here, but I will just log in, and if you need your password again, just let me know and I will send it to you. Okay, so we're just okay. So this is the welcome page for the Digital Economy portal. The businesses will see exactly the same page. It's basically a welcome page that gives you an overview of what the portal is about. As you can see, we've got your branding and logos up here, and some just general information about what broadband can mean for your business. Now, this is really oriented towards a business, looking at the welcome page. What is a digital economy? What can you expect to see in the portal? and it's just a kind of a high-level description. On the left-hand side is the main menu. So this is the main menu that you will see as delivery agents and with your client access. Some of the same menu items will appear on, for businesses. Some of them will work differently when you log in as a business, and I'll explain some of those things as we go along. But basically, you have access to view your, which businesses have registered or which ones we have registered for you, or you may register them yourselves. I'll show you that. There's some resources that we provide to businesses so you actually can see what they see in terms of some of the information we provide. There's additional resources for you as delivery agents to review, well, exactly what I'm going through right now. How does all this stuff work? There's some how-to guides. How does this fit in terms of engaging with businesses? How do you use some of these tools? So there's descriptions of these things in 2 sections: assisting business clients. So this is what you would, information guides in terms of how you would assist a business that you're working with who's registered in the portal or who's about to register in the portal. And then some more basic how-tos in terms of how do you use some of these menu items and some of the features in the portal. There's access to scorecards, which is one of the key features of the program, is the ability to deliver and access scorecards for each individual business. There's a link to e-business modules, which we'll look at quickly, which opens up resources that businesses also have access to. There's a facility for support requests where you can communicate back and forth with businesses, similar to support tickets, but allows you to communicate on specific topics or questions. I'm going to skip over this because this is really not something we used. We intended to provide an email distribution management system, but in most cases our clients and delivery agents have their own systems to use for those things. So this is really not something that we'll be going through. And finally, there's the impact calculator, which is access to our online tool to assist coaches supporting businesses understand some of the financial implications of adopting new e-solutions. So I'll start with looking at the businesses. So businesses that are registered in the system will show up on this page in a table format. As you can see, there are a number of businesses that are already registered. You can see their username, their business name, their email address, the individual who did register. And in this column, you will see when you see a download button that says this business actually has a scorecard loaded in. DA name is abbreviation for delivery agent name. This is the name we've assigned to each delivery agent. So you'll see, Chemung is, for Chemung County is a delivery agent for Chemung County, and you can see there's actually one here for Steuben, and that was recently added, and looks like Three Rivers Development Corporation. So somebody self-registered in the portal in Steuben County. Perhaps you know.
That was actually just Jack Benjamin from Three Rivers, just looking at the survey.
Okay.
That was. Yeah.
Fair enough. So he would have registered as a business and is listed here as a business. So you can actually see when these businesses were registered. That's what the created date is referring to. And you have the option of editing, or not that you'd want to delete any businesses from the system, but you have the option to do that. So this table is sortable, so you can sort any of the columns in alphabetical or ascending or descending order, and find any particular business that you're looking for and see who's there, and immediately see whether they have a scorecard. If you see the download button, it means a scorecard has been produced and uploaded into the system for this particular business, which of course also means that they've completed the business assessment, otherwise, which is the basis for creating the scorecard. Before I click on one of those, which I will do in a second, you will see at the top of the page the ability for you as a delivery agent to add a business yourself. So if a business can self-register, as I showed you on the registration page, but you can actually go in and enter the information on behalf of the business. If you were talking to them on the phone and they said, yeah, I want to register for that, can you register me? You can go, you have the option of going in and do that rather than say, well, just go to this website or this link and register yourself. Or you may be meeting with somebody and you just do it right there when they're with you. So you have the option to do that. You also have the option of using that same form, so to speak. If you click edit on any of these businesses, it'll actually populate the information in here. So you could actually reset somebody's password if you wanted, or maybe there's a different contact person, somebody's left that company and it's a new person, or they changed their phone number, their address. You can edit any of these things and submit that. So that kind of covers off the view of the businesses. As I said, you can actually, this is kind of a shortcut to immediately get to their scorecard. So if you click on this, and I happen to be using Chrome, so you can see this is the way Chrome presents a scorecard to be opened, or any file that you want to save or download. And these are PDF files. I know we're recording this, so I'll leave it to you whether you want me to open this on the screen or not, because it is an actual business's scorecard. I think you've seen the scorecards, so I'm not sure we necessarily need to go through the scorecards today.
We don't need to do that.
Okay. So what will happen is if I clicked on this, it would actually open up the PDF in another tab in the browser. If you're using Explorer, it may open up in a different way. It depends what browser you're using. Essentially, though, you can immediately open and view the scorecard. It's a PDF document. You can save it. You can print it. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so I won't open that up. But you do have access directly to any businesses that have a scorecard by just clicking on the download button. There are a couple of other submenu items here. I won't go through these in detail. In most cases, what happens when a business registers, by default, we set it to automatic acceptance, which means as soon as a business submits their registration, they've already set their username and password, they can immediately access the system. We've provided an option in some cases, if you prefer, you can manually accept them. In other words, they're kind of pending approval in terms of access to the system until you actually accept them into the system. Generally speaking, we don't do that. You really want businesses to register and be able to have immediate access. That's what this menu item is for, where you would actually go in and click accept. You do have the option of exporting this list into a CSV file, and we're working on improving the format of that, but you can get a download or an export of the businesses. Any questions on the view of businesses at this point?
No, that's very thorough.
Okay, thank you. Very quickly, as I said, this business resources is to give you access to what business actually sees. This is actually in the when a business logs in, they actually have this in their menu item. This really explains the portal from a business context, tells them a little bit about what they can expect, talks about the assessment survey, the business assessment survey, the scorecard report, the e-business modules, which we'll have a look at, getting additional advice and support with a little image of the impact calculator, and so on. So you can view that. There's also a list, and we're going to be expanding the descriptions for this, but right now it's just going to be a very high-level overview of what, when we say e-solutions, what are we talking about? So this kind of gives a description, like when you're looking at the scorecard, these are e-solutions that will be presented in the scorecard. What do we mean by these? These are just very short, brief, concise descriptions of what each e-solution is. So this, you can use this as a reference. I'm not going to go through each of these pages, but I'll just click on the first page here. So assisting business clients. This is a bit of a guide, and I'll use this as reference actually, because really it is a process of taking businesses from an initial contact and outreach, ideally to outcomes, outcomes being they've made a decision to adopt new e-solutions that make sense for their business with an understanding of the potential benefits and impacts to their financials, have taken the steps through by working with your coaches, perhaps some external tech advisors to help them figure out what makes sense for them, have made a decision to adopt some e-solutions, taken the actions to make that happen, and have put them in place, and then there would be some resulting impacts. So the goal is really to take businesses from really not knowing what they don't know in terms of opportunities through a process where they take some action, implement some solutions, and then realize the benefits from those that we hope to measure through impact tracking down the road. So this is kind of an overview of the process, and there's additional information again about what that process means, how to approach businesses in terms of consultation, and there's a number of other supporting descriptive pages to assist you in understanding that process. The client support page really is more of a functional, how do you use the portal kind of guide. So it's a little bit of a user guide in terms of how do you do this, how do you do that, and some of the things I'm describing right now will be available to you in here. So this again is a reference for you as users. Before I go to scorecards, I'm going to open up the e-business modules. I'm just going to open that in a new tab so we don't hide what we're looking at right here. So again, these are branded. As you can see, you have your logo here, and it talks Southern Tier Network, and these what we're showing is kind of the introductory page to 6 e-business modules which are oriented towards some specific e-solutions as well as some related useful information, in particular like cloud-based services. Many different types of e-solutions can be implemented in the cloud, but a lot of people, that's still somewhat a nebulous, not a nebulous cloud, but a nebulous idea for them, and this helps clarify that. And also another area where there's a certain ambiguity or uncertainty is in the area of security and privacy, and this has come up in our research as often a very significant issue in terms of barriers to adoption. People are concerned about security, they're concerned about privacy, so we try to demystify that and actually show that there are ways to use this to your advantage if you deal with security and privacy issues correctly. Of course, there's the e-commerce oriented areas of selling online, customer service, e-marketing, as well as remote work and having teleworking and remote employees and having access to a broader workforce. So each one of these are modules. There's just a very high-level description of each one so that you have an introduction, and then for each one of these you basically can, they're structured in a very similar way. There's an introductory page, there's explanations on a topical basis about what is this, what is selling online, why would you do it, how do you plan to implement something that makes sense for your business. There's a list of long list of resources organized around different topics. These are generally available resources that we've sourced online. Section about you and your initiative. So we've taken the liberty of including this for Southern Tier region. And again, you've got some contact information there. We have also included some general statistics relevant to that particular e-solution topic, selling online, that can help people get a better understanding. And of course, you can return back to the main page. So this is a resource that's intended primarily for businesses to access. We try to keep it very efficient, effective, not too laborious to read. We've got a mixture of graphics and videos, those other resources to refer to, and provide the relevant information to help a business quickly understand what is this all about and help them make that decision to hopefully adopt an e-solution that makes sense for them. Any questions on the e-business modules or anything I've covered so far?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is not shown in your menu, because really it's intended for businesses, and we do actually give businesses through their portal access the ability to take the business assessment, or more commonly what we do is we invite businesses to take the assessment first and then invite them to register, or we register them in the portal. The assessment is somebody, okay. Michael left, I guess.
Oh.
Did you lose my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I will get it back. I guess when he left, somehow it...
So there's a case where the businesses can log on to the portal without having taken the assessment?
Yes. Sorry, you still can't see my screen. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't get it back. Trying to make myself the presenter, and it's not allowing me to. I've never experienced this before. It just happened when Michael left the GoToMeeting.
Oh, because he organized it?
Well, I'm also registered as an organizer, so it should allow me to do this. I'm just going to try something here. See if that works. Okay. I think I got it. Can you see it now?
Nope. Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So back to your question. I'm sorry. When businesses about taking the assessment and registering, you were asking?
Oh, the question was, so I guess I didn't realize that they could access the portal without having taken the assessment first.
Well, actually, you know, actually that was the original and still is the intent. Ideally, is that businesses will find out and hear about the program, want to take advantage of it, and will self-register, and they can access the assessment that way. It's the same assessment. It's the same process that they go through in terms of answering the questions. The only difference is once they've registered, we already have their contact information. We don't have to ask them for that information again through the assessment. So it makes it a little bit quicker. Of course, we can invite businesses to take the assessment without having registered in the portal first, and then once they've completed the assessment, we will have the information to register them or invite them to register themselves. And again, what we will ideally, in fact, what we need to have is the businesses will need to be registered one way or another so that we can deliver their scorecard. Because what we do is once they've completed an assessment, we produce a scorecard and upload it into the system. Right, so they'll be able to access their scorecard by logging into the portal. The reason we do that is we want them to also access the other information to be in the system so that you can see who's there, that you have access to the information as well, and you can kind of keep track of what's going on. So the process is take the assessment, then register them in the portal, then we upload their scorecard, and if they haven't self-registered, obviously we need to tell them, here's your username and password, go to this URL, and you can access your scorecard.
Okay.
Okay? So that's a good segue into scorecards. So I showed you a kind of a shortcut on the business menu, how you can see which businesses have a scorecard. We've also provided a number of different ways to search for scorecards. So you may be interested to see, okay, which scorecards were uploaded in the last week, which scorecards have been, accessed within a certain period of time. Or more importantly, maybe which ones haven't been accessed by the businesses. We've taken the assessment, we've loaded the scorecard in, they've been notified, but lo and behold, they haven't even accessed it yet. Well, we'd like them to have a look at it, at least to start the process of, creating the awareness and encouraging them to consider that there are new opportunities that they should consider in terms of what they're doing online relative to what they said in their assessment. Certainly, you may want to just simply look for an individual business, and they're listed here by name, and you can simply click on the name. Just pick one at random, click the search, and it pops up, and you see the name of the business, when their scorecard was added, when they took the assessment. It's called survey date, but this is really the business assessment. First name, last name, phone number, so you can quickly reach out to them. In this case, they've not accessed their scorecard through the portal, so this is empty, as you can see. You can, again, access the scorecard by clicking on the download button, and we saw that before, but you have an additional, what we call a detailed report, or more recently we've changed this to the coaches report, which is an additional supplementary report that you have access to as coaches engaging with these businesses, that gives you answers to 4 specific questions from their assessment. So it gives you additional context to help you with the type of discussion you want to have around their scorecard. So we felt it was important that, they've taken the assessment, but, you don't have any visibility about what they said, that there were at least some information that is relevant to the discussion around e-solutions and the opportunities. And we cover off, what are you using now in terms of e-solutions? How do you view the benefits that are important to your business in terms of doing online activities? What are the barriers for you as a business to adopt new e-solutions? And specifically, what are the challenges or barriers in terms of skills and expertise for you in terms of adopting new e-solutions? And these are things that we feel are important to be able to address in helping a business move forward and taking action. So those are the things that are included in the coaches report. Again, I won't open one up here for confidentiality reasons, but they are, we'll go back to this section here, and I will just show you an example. It's a little bit small, but this is what we call the coaches report. These are actually, with some highlights, the answers to the 17 e-solutions utilizations. You can see how they answered that question. E-solutions benefits, e-solutions barriers, and e-solutions expertise issues. So you have this as a context and reference for each individual business. We're not revealing any confidential financial information through these reports, but we are sharing back some of the information that they did provide in the assessment. So just back to this scorecard screen, then you can search based on date ranges. We uploaded these scorecards some time ago, so I'm going to go back fair ways here just to make sure I cover them. And we are on today's date, so that should so by selecting that date range, we've got all of the business accounts that actually have scorecards. Businesses that don't have scorecards won't show up here, but at least the ones where you want to find the scorecard, you could see if they have accessed them. In this case, none of them have accessed their scorecard online. And I believe we provided them directly, which is most likely the reason that they haven't actually accessed the portal. So
yeah, I just emailed the PDFs to them.
right. So and that's fine, and I think that was the intention initially. So going forward, as you get more businesses taking the assessment, I think the ideal situation is that we get them registered in the portal and we deliver their scorecards through the portal, and they actually will be able to log in through the login page, access their scorecard, access the business tactics, access the support requests if they wish to, and get all the other information to help them move along the path towards hopefully adopting more online business activities. Just do one more thing on this page. A very quick shortcut is you may want to see, well, who has not viewed their scorecard yet? In this case, we're going to see the same 6, but you may want to reach out to those more quickly, because we've sent them their scorecard, or they've been given access to scorecard, but they just haven't done anything yet. So there's also a little overview description of I guess actually it's in the assisting business services using the scorecards. We saw that a second ago. So this gives you an overview of what's in the scorecard, again, as a reference point for yourselves. Any questions on accessing the scorecards and the coaches' reports?
No, I understand.
Okay. Good. It's hopefully pretty straightforward. We tried to design it that way. Before I get into the impact calculator, I will just show you we do have a facility for receiving and responding support requests. Now, there aren't any in here, but if a business did send a request, they would have a form that they could fill in, which basically, a subject, kind of an open text box that they can enter the question or information they're looking for, and a few different categories they can set. You would see that information here, and you would have the ability to respond to it, keep track of some internal notes that only you can see, and basically communicate back and forth. So a business may contact you this way to set up an appointment, say, I'd like to meet, this is really interesting. You can get back to them and say, Joe Smith will be calling you on Tuesday and set up an appointment or whatever. And finally, there's our impact calculator tool. Now this is has some similarities to what we do with the scorecard, but it's a bit more of an interactive dynamic tool, and it's directly accessing our business intelligence platform to assist you in doing some calculations for individual businesses. This is designed to really, again, help a business understand the potential benefits of different e-solutions for them. It's presented in 2 similar pages. Page 1, so-called, is really estimating financial benefits from one of their existing e-solutions. This is just filled in as a default value, so we actually have some numbers here rather than empty cells. And the second page is estimating potential financial benefits from new e-solutions. And these calculations are based on need to be based on something, and they're based on annual revenues or annual operating expenses. So where does that information come from? The way this works is in this top section called prompts, you can actually select some inputs. So for example, you've reached out to a business, and let's say they're in the construction industry, so we want to do this by industry because the impacts vary from industry to industry. They also vary from business size to business size. So let's say it's a 5 to 9 employee business size. Now, we can just simply select some e-solutions and run the report like this. But the numbers are only going to be relevant to the size of that business. You could have $1 million in revenue, or you could have $10 million in revenue, which I'm going to put in here. and maybe you've got $7 million in annual operating expenses. By the way, I'm getting the occasional message that my screen sharing is paused. Are you seeing this okay while I'm working through this? I hope so. Okay. Any questions at this point, or as I'm going through this?
It looks good.
Okay. So we're talking with a business, construction, 5 to 9 employees. They're doing $10 million in gross revenue a year, $7 million in annual operating costs, operating expenses. This provides a base for doing the estimates in terms of impacts. What e-solutions are they using? Well, you can ask them that, or you can refer to their the coach's report, which identifies what they've already said they're using. I'm just going to pick a few kind of basic things here. So they're accessing government information, doing banking online, banking and financial online, electronic document transfer, purchasing goods and services. Let's say they do have a website. Okay, so I could simply apply those settings now, and that will show me what are the estimated impacts. And I'll just collapse that so we have a little more real estate. As you can see, the tool is working to estimate the impacts, and we'll finish in a few seconds. Must be a slow connection today. There we go. Okay. So on page 1, we're looking at existing e-solutions. So those are the ones I selected. So this would be those e-solutions they're currently utilizing. Again, we're including in the report, this is for the construction industry, 5 to 9 employees, $10 million in annual revenues, $7 million in annual operating expenses. And what this shows you is based on our research for like businesses in the same industry and business size, these would be the estimated impacts on average for each of these e-solutions. So what this is estimating is in sum total for all of these 6 e-solutions, the total benefit, including revenue contributions and cost savings contributions, is almost $1.2 million of their annual operations, or close to $1 million, a little over 10% of their annual revenue would be attributed on average to using these e-solutions based on our research across several states and thousands of businesses. Now these are averages. That's pretty much the best we can do in terms of estimating impacts. They can certainly vary from business to business depending on their business model and a whole bunch of other factors, which is one reason why it's important to, we feel it's important to use this tool as part of a conversation with the business, so you can really try to put these numbers and these e-solutions into the context of what makes sense for that business. Now these are e-solutions they're currently using, and of course what we want to explore are what are e-solutions they may consider using. They have a website. Maybe they're looking at advertising online. Perhaps delivering some customer service and support online. Let's say they may want to include some rich media content, multimedia content, to include some videos, perhaps some demos of some of the work that construction they've undertaken and so on. Maybe do some social networking. So we'll just select those for the moment. And what we'll see is these numbers, e-solutions and numbers will appear on page 2 with an estimate of potential financial benefits from those e-solutions we just selected. I think I probably also left selling goods online as selected, so that will continue to show up there. Yes. So, and you see these are listed in descending order of financial impact. So in the case of the construction industry, clearly customer service and support has a much larger impact than even advertising, promotion, and selling online. It may or may not be a surprise, but again, this is based on averages, and we're looking at potentially an additional $1 million on their $10 million of annual revenue by adopting these e-solutions. Which ones are more important? You can look at this from a financial basis, but there's also other factors that will be important in terms of an individual business's ability to adopt new e-solutions. They may have constraints in terms of their budget, in terms of their resources, their expertise, a number of other factors. But this at least gives you a financial perspective on which e-solutions are relatively more important, kind of the scale of the potential financial benefit. As well, what we show here are, in your industry and business size, what percentage of other businesses are currently doing these things. So if you think of things in terms of being competitive and maybe being either falling behind or being ahead of the curve, this gives you another perspective on, you know what, only 47% of my peers are using online customer service and support. It's got a significant financial benefit, and I'm going to be different from a lot of the others by taking this on. Both of these pages can be exported into, and it's with these little buttons up here for, you can export into Excel, into PDF. If you want to, export a report and even send it to your business account, you can export it into PowerPoint. We give you all those options. One of the useful things that you may want to take advantage of by exporting into Excel is these tables, all of this information comes into a spreadsheet. You can actually then, keep a record of those numbers. And if you had numerous businesses that you talked to, and had kind of at least on a preliminary basis agreed on, these are some e-solutions that they're seriously interested in looking at, you can start adding those numbers up and start looking at what is the aggregate potential impact from all of these activities we're undertaking with these businesses. So there's different ways you can use this information, but primarily it's to help create awareness and an understanding of an individual business. What is the potential benefit for me? Any questions on that?
No, that's good. That's good, and I like how you can export the files.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the overview in terms of the features that are available to you in the tools. As I said, you can, you have control and access to information to contact the business. You can communicate with the business through support requests. Excuse me. The e-business modules are a resource for you also, so you can not only see what the business is seeing, but how the information is being presented to them, and can also help your own understanding. Not that you don't necessarily have that already, but what are we talking about when we're talking about these types of e-solutions? Immediate access to find the scorecards you're looking for, some user guides, and of course the impact calculator. So that kind of covers the walkthrough of the portal. I'll stay on this page in case there are any other questions about it. By the way, we do, as you can see, the financial data behind these numbers was recently updated in September, and we continually refresh our data from our research as we collect more data from businesses and try to keep it as current as possible.
Okay.
So this is Judy.
This
is Judy, and I.
Oh, hey, Judy.
Yeah, I'm back. we had a. You probably already know this. We had a very positive day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But so I was in for the last little piece of this, and I just asked Ann, is it intuitive? And she said reasonably so. So that's good. So
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Yeah.
And it's a lot more than I thought it was. I mean, the tool is more comprehensive than I thought it was. I really thought it was just to access the scorecards and for the businesses to access the business modules. So this is good.
Yep. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, that certainly was our intention. You know, we've seen a lot of, and there's been a lot of efforts from many different people over the years to try and encourage and help businesses do more online. And there's a lot of information out there. There's things very similar to our e-business modules, for instance. I mean, we didn't invent these from, well, we did invent them from scratch, but I mean, it's not the first time these have been done. The challenge really has always been, in our opinion, to how do you make this relevant so business will actually take action. You can put all kinds of information in front of them, but it's really, in the end of the day, it's always up to them as to what they're actually going to do. But how do you help them get to a better decision more quickly? And that's what we're trying to do here. And it really, there's no one solution fits all, as we all know. So having that engagement interaction on an individual business basis to try and make these things relevant, to really figure out, here's some things you could do, what are the things you should do, and why. So hopefully we provided some tools and mechanisms to assist you in doing that.
Right, and I think it just increases our comfort level as business coaches in having more information to access, something that we're not really comfortable discussing typically. So it's a good tool for all of us.
Great. So, as I said, that's pretty much it. We could wrap it up. If you have other questions, feel free, and we can always follow up with other questions by email or phone call when you think of them. But
okay.
Do you have any other questions before we?
No, what I do have a quick question.
Sure.
This is Judy. We only have a couple technology companies here in Schuyler County. Whom do we send the name and contact information to? Aren't you going to list them or reach out to them?
Yeah, you can send that to me, Judy.
Can I? Okay, I want to make sure.
Okay. So you're talking about in terms of building the what we've called the tech advisor list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay.
And that's, by the way, we didn't cover that today. And I think Michael's been discussing this with you, Jill, and we do have a very short kind of, we call it a registration form that tech vendors could offer their services for you to consider, and really then you can take that information and create a list of potential tech advisors that businesses could access on certain topics. So we are in the process of implementing that. It's not integrated into this portal per se, because really it's something external to it in terms of.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's where.
Yeah. But that is an important step when it comes to, businesses generally don't have the knowledge or expertise to know what to do. Hopefully we're helping them ask the right questions, helping them come to an informed decision. But when it comes to actually implementing something, obviously there's some additional steps that need to be taken.
Okay.
Okay.
When will this be available for me to share with maybe other members of our team if we choose to do that?
Yes, so we're currently recording this presentation. I'll probably stop recording shortly once we're done, but as soon as we'll get you the recording of this presentation, so you can review it, you can share it, and again, it's oriented towards you as our client users and delivery agents. We can perhaps at another time, if you wish, go through what does a business see when they log in, and that'll just give you their view of the insides of the portal from their perspective. So. It's it'll have the same look and feel. It'll just have a few different menu items and different things that they can do. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I'll
Thank you very
just stop recording now.